Okay, good morning guys. In this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the online calculator Desmos to complete a table. Okay, we're going to get into how to graph quadratic functions in the next video, but before we can do that we want to be able to find a table of values that goes along with the function. And so what I have here, and this is on the notes handout that I've attached on Google Classroom, our function is y equals x squared. So this is our quadratic parent function. It's our most basic function. Last week you were identifying key features like the axis of symmetry, the vertex, things like that. Today we're actually going to sketch graphs. Okay, if you have a graphing calculator that you prefer, by all means you can use that. But Desmos is the one I'm going to be using today. And so when I open it up, it gives me this graph. And it gives me this little piece over here. So if I click in there, it's going to allow me to type in a function. So I'm going to type in this function, y equals x squared. So I'm going to do y equals x. And then if I want to square it, where'd my little menu go? Hang on. If I want to square it, I can go down where I have this little keypad on the bottom, click show keypad, and this a squared button will give me my exponent of 2. Okay. And then I can hide the keyboard again to get a little more room if I want. So this is what our parabola is going to look like. But what I want is I want points that I can put into the table. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here right above where we typed in our function. There's a little gear. Okay, I'm going to click on that gear where it says edit list. And what's going to pop up is right here this little table icon, and it says convert to table. When I click that, it gives me a table of values, and what you'll see is these are points. -2, 4, these are points that lie on the parabola that's graphed. Okay, I'm going to use these values to fill in my table on the notes. Okay, so when x is -2, y is 4. So I'm going to write that here. When x is -1, y is 1. When x is 0, y is 0. And when x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 4. Okay. Now the way that they're getting those values is they're taking our x's and they're plugging it in. Y equals x squared. So if I plug this in for x and square it, -2 squared is 4. -1 squared is 1, and so on. Okay. So you could, without using Desmos or without using a table that's already created for you, you could just plug your x values in and see what it gives you for y and complete the table that way. But the reason I wanted to show you Desmos is if you look at the second example, this function is more complicated. Okay, x squared minus 8x plus 13, that's not going to be as fun to plug numbers into and just calculate what your y is going to be. It would still work, but it just creates room for error there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Desmos create the table for me. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to hit the x to get rid of that function that we just used, and I'm going to type in a new function. Now I'm going to type in y equals x squared minus 8x plus 13. So y equals x squared minus 8x plus 13. Okay. So it shows me what our parabola is going to look like. But I want to look at the table as well. So if I click my gear again for settings and I want to convert to table. Now, what you might notice is this table on Desmos automatically goes from -2 to 2. Okay, but on the notes, your table starts at 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the reason I did this is because I did my homework and I know what this graph is going to look like. And so I gave you values on the table that are going to make it easy to actually sketch the graph. And so what we can do, though, is notice here on Desmos, it tells me when x is 2, y is 1, so I can fill that in. Okay. If I arrow down where it's blank, I can actually type in a 3, and it's going to show me when x is 3, y is -2. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to give me the 4. Enter again, and it gives me the 5. Enter one more time, and it gives me the 6. Okay. So if Desmos doesn't automatically show you the points you need in the table, you can you can add those points in. Put those values in for x, and it will calculate the y for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. All right, y equals 3x squared. So again, I'm going to x that out, and I'm going to go ahead and x that out and type in 3x squared. And again, it shows me what my parabola is going to look like. But if I want to see the table, I'm going to click the little gear to edit list and the little table to convert to table. And here are the numbers I need: -2, 12, -1, 3, 0, 0, 1, 3, 2, 12. Okay. So I'm going to stop there for this video. I want you to go ahead and play with Desmos, calculate the rest of the tables in your notes page, and then in the next video I'll show you where we go from there, how we actually sketch the graph and then identify the key features. See you in a minute.